Hello, welcome back to another guys here on my channel. I'm Jacob from Jacob's Books Corner. Today we're going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. I'm so excited to do this video. I've been wanting to do a 24-hour readathon for like 2 months now, and I thought last month was going to be the perfect month, but I guess this month is. I kind of needed a day where I could just like kind of read all day. I don't really know if that's going to be the total case, but it's fine. Now there's a few series that I need to like kind of run through, and so I think it would have probably been smart for me to do like a let's try to read the Shadow, like the Grishaverse in one day. But we're not doing that, so it doesn't matter. So don't get excited. So I have a few different piles here. We have audiobook piles, which I think is where we're going to go over first. We have physical books that I'm going to try to get to. We have shorter physical books, and then we have actual like graphic novels / manga. So let's jump into our audiobooks. I read audiobooks between 2.5 and 3 speed, depending on the narrator and depending on how much I like the book. It will determine on how fast I rate my book. We're gonna go through the first book, which I think might be the book that I tried to finish the earliest this morning, and it's All Things Cease to Appear by Elizabeth Burdage. I'm reading this for my 5 thrillers vlog that's going to go up at the end of April, and personally I'm really ready for this book to be over. I think I'm like 60% into it. I have about 2 hours left, if I'm not mistaken, based on my audio booking speed, and I really don't like this. The Hick Farm. So there's a family that lives there. A horrible thing happened. People were murdered. So the kids got kicked out of their own home from the Hick Farm. The Claires move in, another horrible murder begins, and so the story ensues. I don't really like how the story is told. I don't really like the writing, and also I would say for plot-wise, it's basically as generic as the next book can come. Why am I continuing? Because I'm curious, but also, like, is it a 1? It's not. Not a 1. It takes a lot for me to give you 1. And so when we finish that, we'll probably take a little break from reading audiobooks, but I'm sure I'm going to pick up more audiobooks during the day. And so I have another one, which will definitely be the next audiobook we technically pick up, and that's Cassandra Clare's And Must We Choose, The Red Scrolls of Magic. I would love to read this whole thing today. I don't know if it's going to be a thing. I have no idea how long the audiobook is, so I guess that will determine on if it's even remotely possible. I'm really excited. I've heard the narrator for this sucks. I'm going to talk about this one vaguely, but do know I'm recording a whole entire like spoiler reading vlog based around it. And then we have a book that I could pick up physically. I'm going to try to pick up physically to see if I can physically read it, if I'm really enjoying the writing style and if it's really fast or not. But I also have the audiobook, so I put it in both categories. And Those Who Wish Me Dead, which is another adaptation that's going to star Angelina Jolie in May. And the trailer looked phenomenal, and I was like, I gotta read this, and the premise is the same. I'm just really hoping for a high-octane suspense thriller with amazing writing, such as one of Taylor Adams, which is Addicting, which is no exit right there, by the way, if you were curious. Moving over into my physical books, but that being said, there are 2 books I need to finish before I can even think about starting 2 other books. The first one is Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda. I'm recording a time where I'm rereading this book as more like a review style, not like a straight vlog, because I forgot to record while I was reading. This follows Simon as he is blackmailed in school for his sexuality. I think most people know what Simon vs. Homo Sapiens is. If you don't know what that is, probably know what the movie Love, Simon is. I'm reacting to that movie, and so I wanted to reread the book, and it's actually been more of a disappointing experience than I remembered when I was younger, which does suck. Alright, moving forward, we have The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. I'm reading this for a spoiler reading vlog, but also for Chan's read-along. She's reading all of these, and I was like, I'll join. Why not? I've always wanted to read a Sarah J. Maas series, and I like Sarah J. Maas's writing, so what's the problem here? Nothing. So we are reading The Assassin's Blade, and I gotta say, I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I'm not super far into it, but these are like shorter books, and so we could read one of these and then we could read something else. It's not like it's a full-on like I have to power through this whole book, which is really nice, but the goal is to finish it today. If I pick up another physical, I would say it's probably gonna be Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I love Leigh Bardugo's writing like with such a passion that I have a very strong feeling that I'm going to adore this series. I'm just really nervous. It's a 7-book series. I'm trying to read it all between like the 23rd, and today is like the 12th. I'm running out of days, essentially, is the answer here. And I really like this. I really like Leigh Bardugo's writing. I really like her adult writing. And so I'm really excited to read her first outing. And I'm planning on reading these 3 as physicals. But these will be in a full-on like reading vlog. So we might start that today. Alright, moving over to short fiction. So I have 3 books here that would probably take me maybe 2 hours to read. All. Depending on how well the Nicholas Sparks one is. But the first one is Brainy K. Stein, Mad Science, Attack of the 50-Foot Cupid. This is a middle grade full of like pictures and things, not a lot of words. But I read this when I was younger. It's like one of my favorite series, and so I'm really excited to reread it. Then we have the Shadowlit Chronicles book 1, and this is simply very short, but it's also written by Holly Black, which you guys do know. I tend to like Holly Black's writing, as The Wicked King is one of my favorite books I've read in a very long time. Not the series, just The Wicked King. Phenomenal novel. I wish I could just recommend that one to you, but I can't because it's a middle book. Probably like one of the best middle books I think I've ever read. By the way, I wanted to read this. This is one of 2 Holly Blacks on my series. On my shelf. The other one is another middle grade with Cassandra Clare, but I think I might take that one back to the library because of the fact that I don't know if I want to read it yet. I think I want to finish all of Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter books before we start jumping into her back. Then we have A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks. This technically does not need to be read today, but it does need to be read this week, and so I wouldn't mind making a good chunk out of it, but it's not a top priority, so I wouldn't probably pick it up until later on in the day when I'm feeling, let's read some A Walk to Remember. This is set in the 50s. Dang. We're reading it for our adaptation-a-thon that we're doing. Me and my mom we watch adaptation every week on Monday, so technically we're already watching the last song today. And then we have these books, which are my manga and graphic novel, which obviously take me a lot short amount of time, and so I think it seems like a lot, but I promise you it's really not. The first one be Harley Quinn Breaking the Glass. This is written by Markio Tamamaki, which I have 2 books here. This one's also written by Markio Tamamaki, which is Supergirl being super. I don't know if this one's queer. I know this one's partially queer. This takes place when Harley Quinn is 15 years old, and this takes place when Kara is 16. So I'm very curious to see how much I like these. If you guys know, I'm historically known for hating DC teen fic, so we'll see if that continues on with this author who I've never read. Well, I did read one of her books, last month. Then we have Doubt, which is a manga. I'm trying to get into manga, so if you guys have any great recommendations, let me know in the comments down below, as I would love to hear them. But specifically with this manga, I'm very curious. It's like a horror manga, so we'll see how that goes. Once I know more about it, I'll inform you. They have Nancy Drew Volume 1, which is called The Palace of Wisdom, which I think is a whole entire mystery. I don't like how Nancy Drew looks. That's just me, though. I'm not normally a huge fan of the redoings of comics and characters and stuff, so I have a strong feeling I'm not going to really like this, but I did want to read it, and I did want to put my 2 cents out there in the world for this Nancy Drew book, in case someone is curious. And then we have The Infernal Devices, Book 1, Clockwork Angel, which, if you don't know, is one of my favorite Cassie Clare books of all time. It's ranking so high. Actually, I don't know. I think once I do finish them all the way up, I'm going to do a ranking video of all my books of Cassie's that I've read for Shadowhunters. And why not throw in this? I'm so excited to read this. So this is definitely being read today. I freaked out when I saw it. So yeah, those are the books that I plan on picking up. I think what we might do is we might get started on my puzzle. Try to finish All Things Cease to Appear by Elizabeth Brundage. My first update for you guys, ironically, is just like a minute later, is my audiobook for The Flight Attendant, which I've been waiting for like 2 months now. Finally came in from Livy, so I think we'll pick this up instead of the Cassie Clare book, which is cool. So that means I can finish off this 5-thriller vlog, and then I can just read Those Who Wish Me Dead when I get around to it. So that's the plan. I think that's going to take me like 3 hours to read, and I have about 2 hours left, so at least 5 hours of audiobooking, and I could probably finish 2 books, which is really nice. All right, we're going to go do puzzling things now, but I'm excited to read that no matter what. Seems like forever since we've been together. Alright, I figured I'd show you guys the puzzle I'm working on. This one! It's a 1,000-piece Disney puzzle, which I'm really excited about. I figured I'd do each princess by themselves since they have very color backgrounds and stuff. And I am listening to All Things Cease to Appear. Emma. I just don't like it. Also, I don't know why I picked up 2 trauma-based books back to back. I didn't really know this was a trauma-based book, but it is a trauma-based book, and I just got done reading A Little Life. This is nowhere near affecting like A Little Life because I don't care about these characters like at all, but if I did, I feel bad for you. Maybe that's why people gave it 5 stars. I don't really know though. I'm gonna start with my puzzle. I'm very, very excited. Also, I got food. It's gonna be a good morning. It's now 2:30. I've officially listened to about 2 hours of my audiobook, so about an hour, if not 30 or so minutes left. I'm gonna sit here and still try to find pieces for Ariel. This puzzle's a lot harder than I expected it to be, so I'm getting a little aggravated, but that's okay. So we will definitely be finishing this book, hopefully before 3 a.m. And then I think we'll take a little break and we'll start reading some other books. I need to read something kind of shorter to get my motivation back, I guess. Oh God, I miss you bad. And I read your letters and look at your pictures. Oh God, I miss you Alright, now it's 4 a.m. So, update time. I have finished our first book for this 24-hour readathon. It was the last, like, 200 pages of All the Things Cease to Appear by Elizabeth Burnage. I gave this a 2 stars. I didn't like it. There was no satisfaction. There was no point. I didn't get the point. Basically, this is extremely basic for a thriller. So, yeah, that's my opinions on All Things Cease to Appear. I was kind of like really excited to read this because the trailer for the movie looked really good. But I think the movie's just going to be better. And that's perfectly fine with me. It also does kind of look like they're going to follow the book pretty nicely. So maybe it translates better into, like, you know, movie form. I have seen this done countless amount of times. I also think there's certain things inside this book to do with sexual violence. Just to let you know, there is quite a bit of it that was unnecessary, and I don't understand why it was there. So I guess that's my opinion on this. But either way, the audiobook I'm picking up next, like I said, I did change it. We're gonna pick up the flight attendant. The flight attendant walks in at about 344. It is 11 hours. This one I've watched the first 3 episodes of the television show, and I was like, this is amazing. I gotta read the book. So we're gonna read the book. I'm very excited to read that book. First book done. How exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my video game, which is what I played the last hour or two, and we're gonna go pick another book, and we're gonna sit down to physically read it, which I'm excited to do. Okay, I've moved over to my couch. We are gonna sit here, and I grabbed a few books. We're just gonna kind of plow on through. I'll go over the ones that I decided to pick up. I'm gonna read the last 100 or so pages of Simon vs. Homo Sapiens. I think this is the first thing I'm gonna read. One, so I can finish off that video, and then also have another book on our list. And then I think we're gonna I'll read Franny K. Stein, which I probably won't rate, but I'm just curious. And we might read a novella. I'm actually in the middle of a novella, so if I could probably finish the novella for throwing class and novella, that'd be great. Before jumping into one of these, and then we'll figure out after that. The goal is to probably finish all this before like 6 o'clock in the morning. That's about 2 hours. I'll film me. It's been so long, I know. So I finished another book, Simon vs. Homo Sapiens, Agenda, Becky, Albert Halley. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. The ending's still fine. I would say there's probably like 30 pages of them being a couple, which is kind of annoying, especially because of what they do in future books. But that's where we're gonna place it. I'm gonna film my final clip for that one, and then we're gonna jump over to Franny and see where we go from there. But yeah, to be honest with you, while I'm reading this, I was not expecting to update you. But I gotta read you a title. One, I think it's kind of cute that her mom cares so much. She's a mad scientist. This, by the way, if you had no idea, Frankie K. Stein and Mad Scientist is about a little girl who's a mad scientist, and she does all these weird things, but she doesn't understand like what humans like because her brain only works with mad scientisty things. And so it's about her like daily life in general. And this one specifically takes place around Valentine's Day, and she's like really lonely because all her friends don't get it, but she wants to fit in, and she tries really hard to fit in, but she just doesn't get it. And so her mom gets her a dog, and it's her and her dog, plus a 50-foot giant baby. There's been a few things in here that I have found to be questionable. This is another one of those things that I figured to tell the world. Chapter 12. Hey, mister, watch the keister. Also, this is 100 pages long. I was real shocked by that, too. Anyway, alright, I'm like halfway through, so I'll finish this and I'll let you guys know what I thought, I guess. I had to come in here and update you guys when I finished it, and I did. And I have to say, I liked it. There was nothing particularly bad about it. I'm not gonna rate it. I don't give these books rated. I don't really recommend it for children. Obviously, she's a mean girl. It makes sense. But she said some really mean things about the dog in here that made me really uncomfortable. And also, the naked baby on the cover doesn't look naked, and I want to reiterate that. But for instance, we have shots like that, which obviously you can tell they're covering up the naked baby's naked thing. But then you have lines, just as a mouthful of craggy, pointy teeth sink into his giant, squishy butt. Which to a child would be kind of funny, but to me, I just find it very inappropriate. Now, I just don't think like that needs to be in a children's book. That's my opinion. This is book 2, I think. I have read, I think all of them actually, if I'm being honest with you. I don't remember any of them. I didn't really remember this while reading it either. But, alright, like I said, I think we might finish my Assassin's Blade. so I can finish the first novella. I think my first update on that vlog as well. The first one's called The Assassin in the Pirate Lord. I'm on chapter 5, which is about halfway through, which is the halfway mark. There are 10 chapters. The second novella starts on page 77, so I guess that's my goal. I'm currently sitting at page 34. I'll listen to some T-Swizzle, as that's what I'm listening to right now. I'm finally coming home. Till then I'm dreaming of... Okay, we have moved to my bed. As you guys can see, it's now 7:30. Yep, that's an update. I've only read a little bit since last time I met you. What? Now I'm 18% into the Assassin's Blade. Like I said, we were pretty much starting off from the beginning on this one. I read about 40 pages within the last, like, 20 minutes or so, which I feel like is pretty good. I literally ended up finding myself on Twitter and scrolling for, like, an hour and a half. First novella. There are 5. So I say we should probably try to crack 100 before 10 to get myself into a good grace with this book. I'd say let's read book story number 2. But that being said, we are moving on from this, since I've told myself we're going to go back and forth between reading a story out of that while reading other stuff. The next book I decided to pick up is Harley Quinn Breaking Glass, which is Mariko Tamaki with art by Stephen Pugh. This does have our famous blue. If you have been watching any of my videos or anything like that, you would know that I absolutely hate the blue that comes with teen books, specifically. But I do feel like I'll be able to read it, and, you know, it'll be, I don't know, if we're predicting a rating, which I feel like I should predict a rating right now, I'm going to say this is probably a 3. Just on average, a 3. If this is any higher than a 3.5 to a 4, like I said, say this is like a 4 or maybe even a 5, I will be forever shocked. I think the Supergirl one is also going to be a 3, but I also could see Supergirl falling into a 2 category. But that's just because I'm really harsh on graphic novels, especially for DC, as I think they're always done very poorly. And also, I don't know who decided blue was the answer, because it wasn't. Whoever decided that, I don't like it. Anyway, it was GLAAD nominated though. Makes me kind of excited. I do have a feeling it's going to be queer. I don't know how Supergirl is going to be queer, so I'm kind of interested to figure out that. By the way, all right, I'm going to update my Assassin's Blade, since I'm updating them every short story, and so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to read this while continuing to listen to Fearless. Your heart, your eyes are alive. Darling, I can't wait till I see your face. Oh God, Harley Quinn Breaking the Glass. This is all about corporations taking over, diversity being excluded, and a whole bunch of queer casts. And I really liked it all the way up until the very end. This didn't really feel like a single book. Ironically, I would say it's the first one where I read where I would say I would read a sequel. I think I'm still giving it a 3. I think it's more like a 3.5. I liked a lot about it, but I didn't love it. I also don't like the choices they made for certain characters and stuff. I don't think it worked out. Also, there was a big twist, and I saw it coming from, like, page. So those were things I took away from, like, from my enjoyment, and so I ended up taking away from the rating. But that's where we're sitting with this one. I think the goal is another novella from the Assassin's Blade before we take a nap, and then we're gonna take a nap. I think that's the way this is gonna work. So, I will update you guys soon. So I lay down to take a nap at like 10:40. I was probably asleep by like 11. I slept till 3:40 or 3:30 now. I was supposed to wake up at noon or so. And obviously, that's not what was in my cards, which is fine. I feel pretty confident with what we've read so far, and we still have several hours. We have 8 hours left of this readathon, so we're gonna get back to work. I gotta post 2 videos on the YouTubes, so we're gonna sit here and listen to our audiobook for a little bit before we jump back over into Throne of Glass. And we're gonna read one of those. That's the plan. All right, we are 40 minutes in. We're an hour and 11. We're 40 pages in to The Flight Attendant. I'm really liking it so far, like I've said. Well, actually, I have not said. I'm liking it. It's different from the TV show. The TV show makes it out more like if she did it or not, and the book straight up tells you if she does it or not within like the second chapter. So I'm real curious, to be honest with you, if I'm gonna like this or not. Are there any books out of this stupid 5 freaking vlog that I'm doing for it that I'm gonna like? I don't know. Truly don't know. Trailers are such a hit or a miss. But I do want to update you. I gotta go film an intro because I thought I filmed one for Queen of Air and Darkness, which is the video that's going up for you guys today. But it's like 45 minutes long. And then we're gonna do some reading for the Assassin's Blade. Alright, newest update for Flight Attendant is I'm officially I hit the century mark, so we're that far in. I do think I'm gonna try to finish this before the evening. So I see a walk in our future, which is pretty cool. I've not gone on a walk in a while. I see more simming, which is next goal. We're gonna read another novella out of the Assassin's Blade. If I'm really into it, we might read the next 2 novellas. I'm not really sure. Also, I was watching Kayla's video she posted today, and I'm kind of curious to see how fast I read it. When I'm listening to an audiobook, for instance, I'm reading The Flight Attendant on 2.8 speed. To most people, is relatively high. I mean, it gives my brother like a heart attack every time he hears it. I can only really do that if I'm not really paying attention to the book. Don't ask me how my brain works. But for instance, for Simon vs. Homo Sapiens, I read the last 100 pages probably in like 20 or so minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. But I've read it before, so it's like more like I was just like, here, you know? So I figured we could probably set a timer for 30 minutes and figure out how many pages I read in 30 for no apparent reason except that's kind of what I'm feeling right. And then I figured I'd come over here and I'd grab some short fiction, or what I have left of my short fiction are these 4 novellas and 4 books. Read a novella, read a book. I'm gonna sit down and we're gonna get started. Like I said, I think I'll set a timer on my phone. Like I'll do a force app. Okay. Alright, hi guys. So I read 50 pages in 32 minutes, which is 1.6 page per minute, I guess. That's how that works. I'm not really sure. And so that would be in 64 minutes, I would be able to read 100 pages and so forth. In a new book I've never read before, so I'd be curious to see what a reread would look like, obviously. Also a much bigger book. These books are much longer than not like page-wise, they're longer as well. That's what I meant. Like dimension. Than Mike would say the Grishaverse, which I could probably get through more pages of the Grishaverse than this. I really liked the short story that I read. That's how long the short story was. It was 50 pages exact. So I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I think I might go for a walk and listen to my audiobook some more because I really just want to go for a walk. And then we're going to come back and I'll pick one of those. I'm not really sure which one. I'm kind of feeling the Supergirl one, but also maybe Doubt just because like it's really long and that'd be a good one to put on the list today. So yeah, either way, pretty excited. So we are sitting down. I got back from my walk. I didn't read too much more of it's over there of The Flight Attendant. Actually, I think I probably read maybe 10% more or so. So not too much more. I have about 2 hours left of the book though, or a little bit over 2 hours. And so at 9:30, which is in about an hour from now, we are going to be jumping over and hightailing it through that so I can at least get through that book today. I wanted to finish, start and finish that whole book. So we probably, just because of my nap, which ended up screwing this whole day up, we probably won't be able to finish the Assassin's Blade today, but I would like to get through at least the 3rd novella before the end. But I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. I mean, I'm sure I'll probably read some more tonight. I really like it. This is what I needed to get into it, so I'm very happy. It really does suck that I couldn't get into like the Grishaverse this way, but that's fine. I have this whole stack of books, and so I think we're just going to start with Nancy Drew. That's the plan. So let's go ahead and read the Nancy Drew one. You so bad. It's been so long. I finished Nancy Drew, The Palace of Wisdom, Volume 1. I'm giving it a solid 3.5. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't my favorite. This follows Nancy as she's called back to her hometown, reawake a case that she could not solve when 13. So that's the premise of this one. Mystery was fine. Story was fine. Writing was fine. Artwork was mediocre. It's not my favorite. I don't like saying that very much because like a lot of people worked on this and they deserve the credit that they deserve. So it's like not horrible, but It wasn't, I think it could have been better, especially because I think some of the variant covers and stuff were really, really gorgeous, and you just really wish some of that art was actually in the pages, but I know it's too expensive. So either way, that's my thoughts and opinions on this. We are moving on to our next book, which I think we might pick up the Spiderwit Chronicles, the field guide. I'll see what the world. Okay, I still have about 20 minutes left and I finished the Spiderwit Chronicles, book 1, the field guide. I'm not going to rate this because it is a middle grade. It wasn't technically written for me. Enjoyment-wise, I'd probably give it like a 4. Quality-wise, I think I'd probably give it a 4 as well. If I was younger, I'd probably give it a 5. So that's where it makes kind of complicated. Not sure. I'll sit on it. I'll let you know. Alright, the next one we're going to pick up, I think we're going to start Doubt. Doubt's really long. It's a hefty one. We're looking at like 400 pages. I highly doubt I can finish this. Actually, there doesn't seem to be like a lot of writing in it, so maybe I could finish it in 20 minutes. I don't think I'll be able to comprehend it if I try to finish it in 20 minutes. Maybe get like halfway through it. That would be pretty good. I don't know. We'll see. Before I move over to the desk again, like I said, I have some work I gotta do. Plus, I really want to finish the book. That was 100 pages long, by the way, Spiderwit Chronicles. I was real shocked. I read that in like 20 minutes, but it was also a much smaller book, so that makes sense. The logic on that one also is extremely easy to comprehend, so really, really easy. So I'm going to read this. I will update you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I figured before I move over there, I will give you my first update on Doubt. Who knows? I might end up picking up this for the last 30 minutes of the readathon. I don't really know how much time we'll have left. I don't think I'll be able to finish it, but we have added another 100 pages to our list of things. This is phenomenal. I'm obsessed. I need to know what happens. Yay! That's exciting. Hopefully it doesn't get bad, you know? But, like, somebody's already dead, and I'm really hoping for more people to die. I hope this isn't just, like, one of those books where one person dies and it's just, like, character conflict. I'm expecting murder. I want murder. But yeah, on that side note, we're gonna head over to my PC to listen to the last 2 hours or so of Flight Attendant. Mark that one off our list, and then stuff I gotta make. So we're gonna go do that. It's like 9:40-ish. So you guys on. It's 11:20 now. So it's been a few hours. 24-hour readathon is coming to an end, but I did finish another book. Pretty cool. And that is The Flight Attendant by Chris Bohemian. I want to mention 2 things before we jump into the reason why I didn't like this. Well, actually, I want to say 2 things, and then we'll maybe further explain those 2 things. We also might not. I'm not really sure yet. First thing is, objectively, the book is fine. It's written fine. It's actually written kind of curiosity. And the mystery itself is not actually about who killed him, even though I think it wants you to believe that's what it is, but it's really not. It's more like, why did he die, you know? And so I just didn't end eventually caring for any of the characters. I didn't care for any of the outcomes. Also, I kind of guessed what it was type of thing. I think this was pretty much mostly telling and not showing. This was a mystery that was pretty much in your face the whole time. You maybe would have guessed it wrong, but like I have a feeling everybody could guess it right. Or most people who pick up thrillers who would have picked up this like on a whim. Now, if you're just picking this up because you want to watch a TV show, that's my second. Well, that's one of the things is that already I can tell the television show was like 10 times better. Just based off 3 episodes that I did watch. There was a lot of moments inside this that they did take and they put into the TV show, but they changed the timeline up a lot. And also, I don't know, there's something about Kaylee Kuko who just really made this into something more than what it was, and it goes a lot to her. Then my second thing is that there's a second narrator who voices a second character that I'm not going to spoil here throughout most of the book, and it was one of the worst narrators I think I've listened to in many months. So that was disappointing, and it did take me, every time she read, I was like, oh my god, I can stop, and then it wouldn't stop, and then I was like, oh my god. But then Cassie's narrator would come back and I'd be like, oh yeah, Cassie. So ultimately, that's my opinion on The Flight Attendant. I didn't really like it. That does mean I get to end the video, so I'm gonna go film the last clip, and then I figured right now I'm just all about trying to finish as many more books as possible in the next 40 minutes. I have probably the best chance of finishing Doubt than I do anything else because I'm already 100 pages into it. So that only means I have 300 pages to go. I read the 100 pages in like 30 minutes, and so there's a good chance, or actually less than that, like 15-20 minutes. So there's a good chance that I could finish this by noon, midnight, or a little after midnight. That's like my intention. I've not been updating you while I've been reading books today. Like we do, like some montages and things like that, but I've been like full on like this is my thoughts, you know, while reading. But my thoughts for this so far, which I have that much left, not that, I have this much left, is that it's just like a really fucked up game of Among Us. You know, except with Among Us, there's 2 killers because there's so many people and things, and there's like 6 people who are like going against those 2 killers. Whereas this is just 1 killer and it's like 5 people. Like, it's just like a really fucked up game of Among Us. Also, this is in my teen section. I don't really know if that's supposed to be there, but either way. Alright, welcome to the end of the 24-hour readathon vlog. I have my Kindle right here to do some math because we gotta figure out the page count. But first, let's talk about all the books I read, which are quite a bit, to be honest with you. But not as many as I was hoping for, as for instance, Heading into the Universal Devices, and or Supergirl, A Walk to Remember, Those Who Wish Me Dead, and or The Grishaverse. Oh, hold on, I need one more book. I also did not finish Eternal Glass, but I did hit over the century mark, which was really nice. And to be honest with you, if I wouldn't have gone for my walk and or took a very long nap today, I would have probably have finished it and we would have started a different book, but that's fine. We have other books to talk about, so let's get started. Obviously, if you watch the vlog, you know all the books, but essentially what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tell you the book that I read, how many pages of that book I read, and I'm gonna put it into the calculator so we can actually find out how many pages over the course of the amount of books that I read. So for instance, Assassin's Blade, I started on page 34 and I read all the way up to 120, equaling I read 86 pages of Eternal Glass today, which to be honest with you, not that bad. Then I also read Violet Chronicles, book 1 by Tony Dicciarelli and Holly Black, and this is book 1 called The Field Guide, and this ended up being a whopping total 107 pages. Then I read Nancy Drew, The Palace of Wisdom. Oh, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars, which I think on Goodreads this is 121. Then I read Doubt, which is my newest one, so this is gonna be the last book I talk about. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I absolutely adored this book. Highly recommend. Very addictive, very fun to read. This is 400 pages. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Then I read Harley Quinn Breaking the Glass by Mary Takimani and art by Steve Yu. I gave this a 3.5 out of, actually I gave this a 4. I take that back. I liked you. And this came in at 200 pages. Then I read the last 200 pages of All Things Cease to Appear by Elizabeth Bernadette, which I gave a 2 out of 5 stars. Then I read 102-page Franny K. Stein, The Attack of the 50-Foot Cupid, which I didn't read. Then I read the last 100 pages of Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda this morning as well. I just happen to have 100 pages. You guys don't know, once I get to 100 pages in the last chunk of the book, if I can't read it, I normally stop there. I'm physically reading the book, and then I'll just binge it when it's down to physically read it. There's something about reading those last 100 pages as one that makes me super excited. And then I read the entirety of Flight Attendant as well, which comes in at 356 pages, bringing our grand total up to 1,672 pages. This was a lot of fun. I missed doing these, to be honest with you. I had a lot of fun just dedicating my day to reading. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below. Would you want me to do this again? And would you want me to do it more like we do it together as a community? Let me know in the comments down below, as I would love to know. Thank you for watching.